Good morning, second English students. We will continue the lesson where mirrors are windows. And actually, in the previous lecture itself, everything is over. And today's lecture and tomorrow's lecture are nothing going to be the extension or explanation. Okay, even the A.K. Ramanujam explained Tamil literature and Tamil poetry, and they are example of self-reflexive. Even though they are Tamil literature, Sanskrit literature, everything has a single pattern, single mind. Okay, and that is Indian life. Okay, and this is the pattern, and this is the pattern of the whole universe. That's what Indians believe. And today, what Indians said, what is the pattern of the universe, already Indians said before 5,000 years ago, and today the scientists say that yes, this is the pattern is the same. What Indians said in the ancient time was correct. There could be possibility of fourth dimension, dimensional world, and fifth dimensional world, parallel universe, and everything is. Everything is permanent, but the form is temporary. Okay, see, everything is came from soil. Okay, the soil, from soil only apple comes, from soil only paddy comes, from soil only wheat comes. But with the combination of water and sunlight and other manure, we get paddy or wheat or apple tree or banana tree. But see, the form of soil changes, takes the form of paddy and takes the form of wheat, but everything is going to be same. Everything is made of electron, proton, neutron. The whole universe is made up of electron, proton, neutron. My body is electron, proton, neutron, and a dead body is made up of electron, proton, neutron. And everything is made up of electron, proton, and neutron. And these electron, proton, and neutron are nothing but a form of energy. That's all. Okay, it is a form of energy. The energy electron is exactly opposite to proton, and neutron is a kind of balancing energy between electron, proton. That is positive charge and negative charge. Okay, this energy is opposite to this energy, and the neutron is a balancing energy. Okay, so that's all. And though Indians did not name that it is the electron, proton, neutron, everything is same. Okay, everything is energy. They simply name it as energy, positive energy, negative energy, and there are possibility of neutral energy also. So that's what India said. Okay, but later in the 20th century only, yes, everything is made up of atom, and atom is nothing but electron, proton, neutron. That you studied in science. Okay, they defined properly, and they scientifically proved properly, but we simply believed it, and of course there are evidence that we scientifically proved, but the science and belief we simply mixed it. That is Indian lifestyle. Okay, so this is when the British colonized India, and that became curse also. What is it? It is actually a boon that we mix science and faith, but that should be the lifestyle. When we have faith in God, and when we are unable to scientifically prove that the existence of God, but when we pray God, it is good for us, and therefore at that point science and faith should be mixed, so that the custom implying that you should wash your feet and hands before entering your house. So this is a custom or tradition, and there are some scientific proof that we have to clean our hands and feet so that disease may not enter your home. Okay, so it is a scientifically proved one, and today we are doing these things. Okay, so if you don't do it, God will punish you. and if we make them to follow as faith, this is said that it is said by God, if you don't follow it, God will punish you, and these things are actually lies, but these lies are said to Indians for the sake, for the benefit of Indians. Okay, that we have to understand it, and we have to say it. Okay, simply blindly we say followed it, and that is the problem. And yes, there are some scientific truth in it that we have to say. Okay, and what I have said so far is nothing but the implied meaning, the implied understanding of the essay. A.K. Raman never explicitly says it, but what he explicitly says is this particular point. Actually, from the previous video he talked about Tamil literature. In Tamil literature, interior poetry, Pagam, and exterior poetry, Puram, they define mutually, and what actually they said is the same thing. Okay, love and war have nothing to do, but they are actually same. We need to go participate in war, and after participating in war, we have to show love to each other. Okay, so this is part of our life, and actually they completely differ in emotions, structure, and themes and ideas. Everything is completely different. The word itself is Agam and Puram, interior and exterior. And what we cannot do, by do in the war. I killed people, and I cannot do inside the home. Okay, but when we want to survive in home, when we want to live peacefully in home, I have to go out, I have to work hard, and I have to kill people who want to kill me, and then I have to come back to home safely and show love to my family. Okay, so though they have nothing to do, though house have nothing to do with war, but they are related. They are related. They may be oppositely related, but whatever it may be, they are related. Okay, so Tamil classical poetry organizes itself by commentary, anthologies, and they show people's lifestyle, they show people's mentality, and the poetry itself organizes the poetry. Tamil poetry, Tamil classical poetry organizes itself. Okay, Tamil classical poetry organizes itself by its own poetry, by its own commentaries, by its own criticism and anthology. Okay, so each and every poetry, it seems that they have no connection, but they are related. Unlike English poetry and romantic poetry have nothing to do with modern poetry, Victorian poetry have nothing to do with Elizabethan poetry, but that is not the case in Indian literature, especially Tamil literature. They are related, they convey one thing, and they convey one faith and one lifestyle. Okay, so the European lifestyle and they were completely money-minded, and they have nothing to do with science and religion. But Indians try to mix science and religion and faith. Okay, that should be people's life, and Europeans don't do it, and we already followed and we already lived it. But because of colonization, we simply forgot our real lifestyle. Okay, so the topic given by A.K. Ramanujam, necessary background. How can we understand Indian literature? Okay, see, most importantly, when Wordsworth poetry is translated to Indian language, maybe sense for sense translation, word for word translation, whatever it could be, we can understand it. Okay, like this Tirukkural also could be understood. Okay, and that's why it is called as common text. Okay, but Sangam poetry and religious literature in India, they cannot, simply by translating it, we cannot understand it, or even where lots of footnotes and glossary are given, we will others, especially Europeans, will not be able to understand, will not be able to feel it properly. Okay, so actually it is Europeans. It is Europeans' mistake, and those literature, Indian literature, is written for Indians. Okay, and it is a higher philosophy, and there is no need for them to understand those philosophy. If they want to understand us, they have to understand Indian culture, Indian belief, Indian symbols, and Indian narratives. And after understanding those things only, they will be able to understand the Indian literature. Okay, so various bodies like Shastra, religion, material, part of Indian vocabulary, Indian languages vocabulary. Okay, so all the words, all the vocabulary related to Shastra, religion, and the material world and spiritual world have become part of Indian language. Okay, so they cannot, definitely those words cannot be translated into other European languages. Okay, they have to be simply transliterated, and maybe footnote alone cannot make the Europeans to understand our literature. Okay, so but when Wordsworth or Shakespeare's poetry is translated into Indian languages, Indians can easily understand. Indians can definitely easily be appreciate them. But when Indian literature translated into English, English people find it difficult or appreciate Indian literature, because Indian lifestyle is so, and those vocabularies cannot be understood by those people. And the mythology related to Vishnu, Shiva, and the goddess Devi have become part of Indian life and Indian literature. Okay, lots and lots of stories are there in Indian literature. They could be only half were written. Okay, more than half of those mythologies were there in oral literature only. They are not published. Okay, so lots and lots of stories, mythology are there in the oral literature alone. Okay, when those things were studied, then only we can understand Indian science and Indian literature. Okay, so let's say in marriage, in birth, in death, lots of mantras are enchanted. They have symbolic, they convey symbolic meaning. When those mantras convey the not only mantras, all literature, everything conveys the same philosophy, that is life and death are same thing. Okay, life and death are the same thing. And without understanding the meaning of mantras in marriage, those mantras are enchanted. They convey the symbolic meaning. Men and women are equal, and men and women should live mutually. They should join together, and they should live mutually. Okay, when we follow these rituals, unknowingly, and the boy and the girl are united together. Okay, so and unfortunately, because of caste domination, those meanings are misinterpreted by the rich and affluent and exploiting people. And but we have to go back to the real meaning of it, and taking the advantage that British colonized India, and they simply destroyed Indian philosophy. Okay, so we have to understand those meanings, the value of those mantras, and the value of worship, the value of puja, and we have to understand it. They are symbolism, they convey symbolism. Okay, breaking, for all the rituals and beliefs, they have their own meaning. Those meanings we will study in detail in the book Indian Mythology. Actually forgot why we break a coconut when we worship God. Okay, it has its own meaning. Okay, why we draw column when in the morning? It has its own meaning. They convey. It is a symbolic meaning in it. Okay, there are possibilities of another world. God, everyone will die one day. Okay, so accordingly we have to live. So when we draw column and when we break coconut and unknowingly we understand those meaning in it. But because of the British rule, though we draw column and we follow, we worship Indian gods, but unknowingly we do not know the real meaning of it and we are unable to improve our life. Okay, so this is a problem in it, and so we have to go back to Indian religion, Indian faith. We have to understand it properly and we have to improve our life. And that is the main theme of the book Indian Mythology, which you will study after completing fourth unit. Okay, so so they have their own meanings. They are nothing but the symbolic meaning in it, and unfortunately Indian forgot those meanings, and unknowingly we are unable to implement the real value of it. Mechanically simply do it, and we are unable to get the benefit of the worship and of the worship of God and puja. Okay, so therefore we have to know it, and then when we follow it, our life is going to be improved. Okay, so unfortunately Indians forgot the real meaning and real symbolic meaning of them. Okay, so we have to go back, we have to understand it in a proper way. So we have to read Indian literature. We as Tamilians should read Tamil classical poetry, and Telugu people should go back to their literature, and especially we need to study our literature. And it is difficult for us. We should not read from the European point of view. We have to read from Indian point of view. Remove all the Western culture and Western ideology, and innocently just I am an Indian. Okay, and then you read it, then you will be able to understand it. You have to go back to Indian history, Indian culture, what is the lifestyle, and then when you go back to it, and when we naturally we will be able to understand Indian literature. When we understand Indian literature, we will be able to know Indian culture also. When we know Indian culture, we will know Indian literature. When we know Indian culture and we know Indian literature, we know Indian culture. Okay, everything should be done properly. Okay, so now moving to next topic, two epics. Okay, this topic is a long topic. Let me begin the topic for time being. Many stories,